Three, two, one. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas 2018. In just a couple of days. Simmer down. Simmer down. No, let's not all get excited and stuff. It's just no Christmas, y'all. So, uploading right now, if you guys haven't seen it, is Story Time with Mad Nasty Trappin'. Story time, guys. I read 4 children's books tonight. Story time with Mad Nasty Trappin'. It's a Facebook hit already. It got good views. It's cold out here, y'all. Christmas time. Of course it's cold. But I read 4 children's books today on Facebook Live. And that is uploading right now to YouTube. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Guarantee you, promise you, it's a clean broadcast. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. Don't have any traps out. Broken vehicle. Stuck at home. Can't go anywhere. Stuck, y'all. No live traps out in the woods. Sucks to be this guy. Trying to get back on the ground, dude. It's been hard times, and y'all know I kind of been out of the spotlight for a little while. It's been rough. It's still rough. And, dude, it's hitting me hard. But things are on the up and up. Things are starting to get better. And I'm not going to neglect my fans, my subscribers, my followers, my mad, nasty people. Y'all are badass. Facebook screwed me. Dan Edwards, Facebook, gone. No longer. Erased. Wiped. Facebook will not bring it back. Guidelines and stuff, and somebody flagged me, and it's gone. It's gone for good. So I am rebuilding Daniel Edwards on Facebook. Go and subscribe or friend me on the Facebook. The new page, Daniel Edwards. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to rebuild what I once had. It's going to take some time. You will see it start to grow and get back to the way it was, but in a much more cleaner format. I cannot afford to go and get flagged, tagged, dropped, and lose everything again. So my Facebook is going to be very similar to what I had before, but a cleaner format and a whole lot less edgy. And I'm going to get a lot of new material up here on the YouTube channel, Mad Nasty Trappin'. So if you have not done so, make sure you hit that subscribe and the notification bell. Let's just say that I've been a little bit busy and really not in the best of spirits to be trapping. You know, I haven't had a vehicle to get out there. Money's been tight. The whole damn thing's gone to hell. But as I've been trapping, I've went and thrown a ton of critters into the deep freezers over there. So I got a lot of catching up to do. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 5. I got 2 that are soft enough to skin tonight. And I've got 3 that'll be soft enough to skin tomorrow, but are still fairly frozen. I've got another, 8 muskrats in there that are frozen block solid. Another half a dozen coons in the freezer, frozen block solid. And another 10 to 12 possum, frozen block solid in the deep freezer. I still got to get those skinned down. They're whole, complete, like catch out of the woods, throw in the freezer, deal with it later. Well, my whole freezer's full of unskinned critters. Now I'm playing catch up, trying to skin, get these things vacuum sealed. At this point, I do not have a space heater to keep it 55 degrees in here. As you can see, it is freaking cold in here, guys. It is extremely cold in here. Way too cold to dry furs. So I am vacuum sealing, packing, and stacking rolled, skinned furs in the deep freezer for flushing and boarding later this season. I'm going to have to do crazy catch up like I did last season. Get these things all on the stretching boards, get them all ready to go off to market, and get them off to the auction again this year. I'm hoping I'm going to make the deadline on them, but at this point, there's no boarding or drying in this crazy cold that is the fur shed. So I'm going to get rocking. I got 2 of them here. I got coffee getting cold right now. And I'm going to get 2 strung up here and skinned. I can't play any music on here. Fucking copyrights. All that other bullshit. So it's going to be a quiet evening. I know it's late. I know you guys are laying in bed, eating cookies, eating leftovers already. Y'all a bunch of piggers. Gobbling down the leftovers and stuff. But let me get these 2 skinned down. I'm going to get rocking. Get them up. Get the pajamas off of them. Get those in the freezer. Call it a wrap. If you guys want to stick around, hey, awesome. I understand. It's late night. It's live. And this will be put up for rebroadcast on YouTube channel Matt Nasty Trapping. Subscribe, notification bell. Help me out, y'all. Comment, like, and share this broadcast. I'm hoping you guys are having a good year. I'm thinking that the way I see it right now, as I got my space heater rocking here because I'm freezing. I got a space heater, but it ain't going to heat the whole thing to 55 where it needs to be to dry. 55 to 60 degrees for 5 to 6 days. Proper dry temp to get your furs ready to go off to market. 55 to 60, 5 days. Remember that. That's the magical numbers, guys. And I ain't got that right now. So I'm going to get these things skinned down, get the pajamas off these 2, call it a wrap for the night. It's been a long day and a stressful last 2 months. Got some stuff popping in here. Devin says, hey. Kevin says, hey, buddy, looks like a little chilly in your shop. Yes, it is. I've had 2 misses the last couple of days, starting to get aggravated. Man, you can't be more aggravated than me. I've got 0 traps out because I've got 0 vehicle in which to check them every 24 hours. So I'm catching up on back work. And let's face it, guys, I got a ton of back work. It is what it is. It is absolutely cold in here. I don't know the temperature in here, but it's to the point where I might as well just, turn off the damn deep freezers, because I don't need to run electricity to them. Hell, they don't even turn on to keep cold anymore. Welcome to Michigan, guys. Winter water wonderland, I think, something along the lines, though. Something, I don't know, the old license plates used to say it. Winter water, winter weather, winter wonderland, some shit or another. I don't know. Coffee's getting warm, y'all. Not. Cold already. Oh man, these gloves are frozen solid with coon grease, man. I need a new pair. You guys are looking to send me something for Christmas, man. Whew. A new pair of cut-resistant gloves. Look at these grungy grubbers. Look at that, grungy grubbers. Cut-resistant gloves have saved my hands, guys, many a time. Skinning down late at night, falling asleep, slipping with the knife. Many a time, guys, these gloves have saved my hands. I will not skin without cut-resistant gloves anymore. But I got two coons ready to go. And I'm going to have to abide by community standards. I hate doing it, but until I get a nice website up, which is be my hope for 2019 at some point, getting a nice website up where I can be unchained, untamed, and unfiltered. This is how I have to do it. I have to do my best to abide by Facebook and YouTube standards and guidelines in fear of being banned and blocked. I don't like disappearing from you guys, and I refuse to do that. So, that's how it crumbles, y'all. Try to do what I've always done. Stick in the crazy, mad, nasty fashion. These might still be a little frozen still. Go figure when it's cold out here. But, sticking to mad, nasty, trapping fashion. Try to be a little bit out there, a little bit fun, a little bit wild, a little bit different than the norm. But still abide by guidelines of YouTube and Facebook. Even though I don't like doing so. It's kind of what I have to do, guys. To keep on keeping on. 2019 is going to be a different year, guys. It's going to be a whole different ball game. I've got, a little inside tip for you guys. Is I've got a little bit of something special planned for 2019. It's going to be a whole new. It's going to be a whole new, all-encompassing channel, guys. So stay tuned for it. It's going to have hunting, trapping, and fishing, all-encompassing YouTube channel. It will have all of what you guys have come to love and enjoy of Mad Nasty Trapping, but it will also include fishing and hunting, of which I have footage compiled, stockpiled, and saved up over the last 5 years that has gone unaired. And I will be putting out episodes in one big block, chunk, huge form, spring 2019. Very early in 2019, the new channel will pop up, and I will make sure that I heavily advertise it so that nobody misses a single episode. Y'all are going to want to be there. You guys are not going to want to miss what I got coming in 2019. Family had to take over, though. Without family, none of this is possible. So I kind of have to. I'm still not going to be back full-time, guys. I will periodically post new posts. It will give you guys a chance to catch up on all the old broadcasts. 200 plus videos on here that you guys have not seen all of. Last season, this season, bloopers, outtakes, crazy episodes, and all of Mad Nasty Fashion. To give you a chance to catch up on a lot of it. And again, I'll keep coming out with new, I will continue to keep coming out with new videos, just not in the every night frequency that I have in the past. put family life first and trapping second is what it is, y'all. I'll have a lot more instructional style videos coming out. Don't think just because I don't have trap in the woods that I'm not going to continue to make videos. I've got a lot of stuff in the works coming out with the new channel that is already in the process of being built. New video ideas. And as well as non-live on the trap line videos, more instructional based informational videos will be coming out, being released, which time I don't have traps out in the woods. And we will see how the rest of the season pans out, guys. Sharp knives, sharpeners, guys. This ain't nothing special. You guys have seen one similar to this. It's not an expensive one. Sharp knives. Skin critters, man. You guys see okay? Whoa. Let's see if I can relocate. See if I can get you guys a better view here. Okay, let's see. A little bit better. A little bit better. Okay. Try to get you guys a little bit better footage. Ah, man. Hold that. Silly cooners. Hold that. There we go. See. Yep. Yeah. That'll do. Okay. Got 4 viewers. How's everybody doing tonight, this late night? What are you guys still doing up? I don't know what happened, guys. Too much electricity juice. Tripped the breaker. It's not one thing, it's another. No running the space heater tonight, boys. Oh boy. Okay, back to it. Did I lose anybody? No, I didn't. Oh, good. Oh, good. This coon is still fairly frozen. It's been in the deep freezer block of ice for a week. I just got it out 3 days ago to de-thaw slightly. And it's proven to be still fairly frozen because it's cold in the friggin' shed. But it'll do. No, I'm not rushing it, guys. I only got 2 to do tonight. Might as well take my time on them. No sense in rushing and making mistakes. Oh man, it's still frozen. Woo. I'd like to just rip. It's not proving to work as I'd like here. So I don't know what's going to go on, guys. I really don't. Not having a vehicle makes it extremely tough. On the trap line coming back, for us who don't know, on the trap line coming back about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. I managed to go and break the upper control arm on my vehicle, the rear control arm, and when it broke, it crashed down the rear right suspension on my vehicle. It took out CV shaft, it took out shock, took out upper control arm, lower control arm, and the tire, and it just absolutely wreaked havoc on my vehicle. And with the holidays in the job switch, money has been unbelievably tight. So family mortgage first has become priority. In my vehicle, it's going to have to wait for a while. So therefore, trap line running is on hold. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. I'm trying to recover and get back on the line as fast as I can. Believe me, it's making me absolutely stir crazy not going out in the woods on a daily basis. I'm sure some of you guys have been there and know how it is. It's unbelievable for a guy like me not to be out in the woods every day this time of year. Tail slick guys. Cooper, what up? Tail slick guide. It's a beautiful thing. Your metal tail slick guide, and I'll show you in a moment here. And your stripper tail zipper. Slide that in there, give it a quick yoink. Down it goes with the zipper. Blow the fur out of there. It's a good tool. Cheap, like $3. There's your tail slick guide. There is your slick guide. That right there is a straight line cut for better presentation on your tail. Don't necessarily need it. I use it just to make sure that everything is as beautiful as possible. Man, my hands are cold. Let's see if I can get... I gotta kick some space heater. If it blows the circuit, it blows the circuit. Fucking screw it. Anyway. But yeah, tail slick guide, not a necessity, but it does make things a heck of a lot easier. That zipper, it's like $3. Get yourself one. It's a nice item to have. I've done it without. many critter I've done without a um, slit guide or tail zipper. But I'll tell you what, for the I don't know, 5, 6, 7 months I spent on it, it's money well spent, boys. You can trim and use a knife, or you can pull and walk. If you're gonna pull down on your critters, make sure that up on the gambrel rack here, guys, make sure on the gambrel rack, you use your knife and you stick your knife through between the bones. The bones are like this. They have an opening and they're tight at the top. If you go through the tendon, there's a tendon right here on the side. If you go and you run your gambrel between the tendon and the bone, if you're doing pulling on here, you will rip that tendon and it'll come right off the rack. You want to make sure that you get your knife, stick your knife in, turn it sideways. And when you turn it sideways, you'll be able to feel the bone on both sides. Cut yourself a nice straight line down on that leg and make sure that that gambrel rack is hooked nicely in between the bone. That way, when you're pulling, you got a better chance of not pulling it off. Sometimes you will, especially on your harder pulls. Still, pull it through the bone, but you're a whole lot less likely to do so. And I've said it many a time, when you skin down your critters, I find it best to go and leave as much fat on your hide as possible. You will remove that additional fat during the fleshing process on the beam, and when you do, you're going to be grateful. I promise you. The more fat you have on your critter and on that fur during the fleshing process, the easier it will be to flesh on the beam. More fat is better when fleshing, guys. This thing's giving me a heck of a time because it's still fairly frozen cold. I see we got 3 viewers in here still. Thanks for everybody staying up late and continuing to watch this broadcast. Go ahead and comment in the comment box below. Feel free to chat amongst each other. It's what we're all about here, guys. And if you're watching this on replay, there should be an option to turn on live chat. If you're watching the replay, turn that live chat on. You can read the comments that happened during the broadcast. Whew, that's a lot of fat on this one. There's a lot of fat on this one. when I'm cutting and trimming, I'm putting downward pressure. I'm always continuously, you don't have to pull hard, but you want to continue to put downward pressure on that hide as you are skinning. Any way you can do it, any way you can grip it, continue to put your downward pressure on there. God damn it. Really? Yep. Blew the breaker again. The heater's working overtime. Let's get these done. Okay. But yeah, downward pressure on your hide always, guys. Oh, come on, sir. Pop your leg holes through. Pull them down to the paw. Cut and trim around your paw. Leave your arms long. They will be trimmed off in the boarding process. There's a fine membrane. I don't know if you guys can see it right here. There's a fine membrane. You should be able to go and just gently cut that fine membrane to get down to the leg meat right there and be able to separate out your hide. That membrane sometimes will be a tough spot for everybody, and that is a necessity to get through there to get to the leg joint to be able to pop your leg on through. Pop your hand on in there to be able to punch a hole through. Once you get able to punch a hole through, lock it big enough to where you can get a couple of fingers in there and pull your legs on out. Okay. There we go. You should pull down and have it nice like that. It should stop right at the cuff of the joint, right by the foot. Once you pull it through, wring out your foot. There you have that. And if you guys don't know, I'm sure some of you do, that continuous pulling, do enough of them in a season, that will wreck hell on your back. I've seen a lot of guys use a long scribe or a trapping stake, run it behind the leg, and then pull them down to get them started. I've done that too, but I just find that it's more convenient maybe to just go and muscle it out. But after I do a few of these in a night, I start regretting it the next day because it does wreck hell on your back when you're doing your leg pull-outs like that. Yep, grabbing your hide. And as you grab your hide, you can kind of force it. You can pull it. You can kind of roll it and force it around the skull and the head as you're pulling down. So you can pull away from where you are running your circular cuts. And it tends to help out quite a bit when skinning out your critters. Putting that constant pressure, rolling it away and down from where you're trimming. I envy you guys that have skinning machines. You guys that have skinning machines have got it made. I just haven't had a chance to really go out and make one. I've seen like hand crank, boat crank style skinning machines. The ones I really, really think are sweet are the ones made with electric winches. You know, whether they be table mounted or they build a custom rack for it. Mount your winch, clamp your critter in, press and hold the button and let it peel that hide off. That is a quick and easy way to do it. This is kind of more the old school traditional way of doing it. You know, but as I get better and better and have more and more critters to skin, if I continue to keep mapping the way I do, a skinning machine will be in the near future in the upcoming years. Okay, here's another little tip. I know I've showed it before. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but right here, there's a bump. There's a bump where the ear cartilage is. You want to go at a 45-degree angle up on the ear cartilage. Cut it right straight through to the base of the skull. You can never cut too deep there. It's better to cut too deep into the skull itself than to punch holes in your hide. Leave as much of that ear cartilage as you can on there. You want to almost have it flush cut at a 45-degree angle to the skull. There you go, guys. Back again, guys. I don't know. My app keeps shutting off. So I don't know. I don't know if people are flagging me. Bad signal. I don't know. I'm going to run it as long as I can. I might end this broadcast after this first critter for tonight, just to be on the safe side. I don't want to be blocked or flagged. I've had enough of that lately. Enough of that crazy, silly stuff. And you cut off the lower lip on here, guys. The lower lip is not needed. Yeah, that's why you wear. Okay, here we have it. Plenty of fat left on there, guys. You want to leave a lot of the fat on that hide. There's no cuts, no tears, no oopses. Take your time, get it right. In the market that it is, with the low dollar turnout, you want to get every penny you possibly can on these furs. And I'll tell you what, they're worth pennies. It is sad. So get as much as you can out of it, guys. Take your time. Put them up. Get your best presentation possible. Man, for when I freeze my furs, guys, I put them first side out. I know when I board them, I will once again, when I flesh them and board them, I will once again turn them back the other way to the flesh side out. But for purposes of, man, that's a beautiful coon. For the purposes of freezing your raw, unfleshed hides, you want to make sure that you roll them flesh side in. So, but look at how pretty this is, guys. This is a Michigan coon. I'm going to see if I can get some good lighting for you. There's a lot of, come on, clarity. There's a lot of browns, blacks. This is a nice sized coon. These do not have rub out yet. These are nice quality furs. I have not been pulling quantity this year because of my situation and vehicle issues. But what I have been pulling above quantity is quality. I've been getting big coons. I've been getting nice fur on these coons. They're not trashy. I've gotten maybe 2 or 3 trashy this year, and every single other coon has been a large or bigger coon with beautiful coloration and no rub out. I mean, absolutely gorgeous hides. So, God, look at the hairs on that, man. They don't get much more premium than that. So as I roll it up, guys, I start with the tail, and I'll show you guys as soon as I get it rolled up. I start with the tail, and I tuck the tail over, make sure that I hide inside as much of the flesh as I can, because you want to keep the grease as much as possible off the outside fur. And then you want to roll your fur up like a sleeping bag from tail to head. Now there's a reason that I roll them tail to head. Focus, camera. Okay, so I got its nose right there, ears rolled up in a tube. Okay, nose to head. The reason I want to do this is so that when it's frozen and I pull it out of the freezer, I can take it, I can peel up that much, I can go through the eye holes, I can hang this from the gambrel rack, and as it de-thaws, it will go and naturally unroll. When it unrolls completely, you know it is warm enough to go and flesh and board this, but it's still not overly heated to where it's going to be a hassle on the beam. It's beautiful. It's a process that works for me, and I think it'll work for you guys too. So you want to roll them up. My opinion, you guys can do whatever you want, but if you're going to freeze them for a while before you go and you flesh and board your furs, roll them up and roll them up from the tail to the nose, leaving the nose and the head exposed on here, so that when it does de-thaw, when you pull it out of the freezer and it's a frozen solid block, you can hook the gambrel right through the eyelet holes and let them hang frozen. And as they de-thaw, they will unroll. Fully unrolled means that it's de-thawed enough to flush on the beam. And that's a mad nasty trapping, skinning, fleshing, and boarding tip of the day. Hey! Ho, ho, ho. So this one's ready to go in the freezer. Now, typically, if I had extra vacuum seal bags, which I am out of right now, this is at the point in which I would go and cut myself off a portion of vacuum seal bags. I would slide this into the vacuum seal bag. I would then shrink, vacuum seal pack this to prevent any freezer burn. It's kind of a more expensive way of doing it, but if it's going to be in the freezer for an extended period of time, and at this point, guys, I don't know when I'm going to flesh and board these. No heat. cold. It won't dry in the cold. 55 to 60 degree temperature for 5 days. You don't want it below or above. If it's below, it will not dry properly. If it's above, you have a risk of burning the hide. Believe it or not, that is what it is. So you don't want it above 60. You want it between 55 and 60 degrees for 5 days. That's the magical numbers. Freeze your furs, head out, so they unroll. When they unroll, you're ready to go and flesh and board these furs. Pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Sounds complicated. Take notes. I promise you, it's going to make your job a whole lot easier. Off to the freezer with this guy. Now, like I said, vacuum seal packaging, okay? Not a necessity. By any means, it's not a necessity. My personal preference is if I'm going to keep them in the freezer for an extended period of time to prevent freezer burn, vacuum seal packaging is important, okay? Number two, if you do a lot of trapping and you're trying to conserve space in your freezer, when you vacuum seal package anything, if you guys have done it before, it compacts and compresses your furs. Your fur will compact down when vacuum sealed to roughly, depending upon the size of the fur, roughly about size of a hand and thickness like that. That allows you to stack multiples. Whereas if you do not freeze them or vacuum seal these furs, you got this fur unvacuum sealed, guys. It's probably about this thick. So I'm getting 2 in the space I typically could have at least 1, if not 3 in the place that I have 1 unvacuum sealed. I can put 3 vacuum sealed in there. I can fit a whole lot more in my freezer by vacuum seal packing the furs. These bags are expensive, guys. They are expensive food saver bags. But I've also learned, and another tech tip, another trapper tip from Mad Nasty Trapping, take notes. Trust me, you'll like them. When you go and you run your initial package fresh out of the box and you're cutting them off the roll, cut them long. And I say that because when you cut them long, even though this is excessive product use on your first trimming, you're completely right. But when you go and you take the coon out of this package and you cut it on your seam line right there, cut that off, you retain enough room right here in which to go and seal it right there. And then you can use it again by trimming it back further. So you can get 2, 3, 4, 5 uses out of this vacuum seal package, conserving your guys' cash. Because again, these are not cheap packaging. But conserving it and reusing it 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And hell, even when it gets down shorter like this, you know, when you got them down short, you can save and retain those and use those for your muskrats. Smaller, right? It's a good way to do it. Conserving money in this game is very important with the fur markets the way that they are. Now, another tip that I've got, just like if you were ever to work at a grocery store with product fronting, okay? Fronting the product. You want to put your oldest product forward and your newest product towards the back. And the way you can keep that straight is every package you have, you want to label with the date and the contents. And if you do have a measuring board, you could also put down standard Kuhn, or Kuhn standard, Kuhn XL, Kuhn jumbo. That way you know that if you have 2 jumbo boards available and everything else is used up, you can go and look and go, I need to pull out 2 jumbo Kuhns. Oh yeah, Kuhn, jumbo. Pull 2 of those out, because maximizing your boards and having every one of them filled is how you're going to make money in this game, guys. So there's a couple of tips for you. Quite a few, actually. Dry temps, skinning tips, vacuum seal packaging tips. There's a lot of information in this video. Make sure that you go and like and save and download this broadcast. Take notes. Try it out. If you like it, great. If you don't, hey, everybody's got a different way of doing things. And there's your Mad Nasty tips of the day. Subscribe, notification bell, guys, and post comments. Good night. I'm rocking an hour. I'm rocking a goddamn hour. Insane. Ooh, I almost forgot. Trim and save the bones, guys. It ain't worth a lot of money, but every penny I can get from these things is a penny worth saving. Okay. That one's done. Cold coffee, great. Yeah. Wow. That's cold. Might as well have ice cubes in it. Should fire me up a smoke. And I think I will stay on here. Why not? It's a long broadcast, but who gives a shit? I'm going to fire me up a smoke. I'm going to rip down another Kuhn. The hell with it. I'm doing it. I might as well run it live. Come on, slippery suckers. Now, for all you smokers, Mad Nasty tip. So when you're smoking your cigarettes and you got yourself some skinning gloves on, your Kuhn fat absorbs into your cigarette paper. You will taste it when you get down to that level. It's pretty gross. So just monitor. Yeah, you can see it. You already see it right there. Monitor your smokes. Don't smoke Kuhn fat because it tastes gross. Anyway, y'all. I'm going to have to get this one ripped down fairly quick here. Who all still watching? Showing I got 3 people. You guys are not commenting. You guys are being quiet. Comment, like, and share. Let me know that you are there. Now I usually use my long knife, and I usually run it down the heel to the vent, and when I get it all the way down, then I'll pull it and peel it back. Then I come back in with my smaller knife, and I do my fine trimming to expose the leg with a smaller knife. Slide that knife in. You guys can see at the bottom of the screen there. Slide it in. And use the back side. Use not the knife side, sharp side. Use the back side. Slide it in. Turn your knife blade left to right. Feel for both leg bones. And then use the back side of the knife. And pull up till you hit the cartilage. That way you got a nice area in which to hook your hook on your gambrel rack. Easy as that. You can feel on the gambrel rack, you can feel for both bones, and make sure they're on opposite sides of that gambrel hook. I do my first cut from the heel down to the vent. I do my first cut on the table. My second cut, I'm able to hold the legs separated, run my second leg, wring it out, slide my knife up to the vent, and pop it. Now I'll show you guys right here. Run your leg, wring it out, all the way around. And if you're pulling, pulling is always important. As I'm pulling down on the hide, on the foot. And you can see that it nicely separates out. So you can see that you've got a nice cut all the way around. I can see that I missed a spot right there. And you can see that it nicely separates right there as you're pulling down. If you're not pulling down, you ain't going to see that. Okay, your next step, start at the heel, slide it under the hide, all the way up with your fillet knife. Then when you got it all the way in, pull upwards till it meets the vent and pops through. Easy as that. Take your knife and start working out your other leg. Once you get it started, you should be able to pull it and go with that. Expose the leg, feel for the bones with your fingers. You should be able to feel the bones. Slide your knife in, using the back side of your knife. Run it up till you feel the cartilage. And where the two bones meet together, slide it over your rack. Pop it through the hole you just made. Give the tail a tug. Use your fillet knife again. Go about, go about a third of the way down the tail. Slide it up till you see your knife pop through by the vent. Pull up, and you're good. Thanks for sharing, everybody, and how's everybody doing tonight? We got 4 viewers. That's fine. It's fine. It's late at night. I understand, guys. I trimmed all the way through. Come on, sucker. Frozen is not the ideal. I'm dealing with these coons. Yeah, this one's still very frozen, guys. Man, it makes your job hard when it's not fresh. Trying to get enough room to pull as soon as I can. So I'll start pulling. Okay, I think I can get a grip. Yep. Get a good grip of that hide. There, that's what I'm talking about. Peel it like butter coming off on it. Retain that fat. Retain the fat. Leave the fat on the hide. One of the benefits, even though it's harder to skin when they're freezing cold and somewhat frozen, one of the big benefits to doing so is that the fat solidifies. It becomes more of a gelatin, and it's easier to retain more fat on your hide for ease of removal during the flushing process when it is cold versus warm. It's a big benefit, guys. So what you're doing is losing time. If it's a speed game, you're going to lose time on a cold critter because of the additional time it takes to skin when you're partially frozen or cold. but you're going to be a whole lot easier on your fleshing beam. Now you're going to trim around your tail, getting it down to where you visibly see meat. Tail stripper. Put it in there, hold the base of the tail, pull straight down. Tail slit guide. Boom, tail slit guide. Run that down to the base of the tail as best as possible. I hold it with my thumb at the top. You guys see that? I hold it with my hand behind the hide, or behind the tail, hand behind the tail, tail slit guide, holding the top of my thumb, so as I cut down, the slit guide continues to run to the bottom of the tail. Take my knife. Nope. Used to take my knife. Use my tail zipper. Put it in the guide. Slide it all the way to the bottom using tension on my thumb up above, guys. My thumb up above. I'm putting tension downwards on that tail stripper guide. And I run it to the bottom. And then pull it all the way through. And you can use your thumb to make sure that you got it all the way cut, all the way to the bottom of your tail. Clean your hair out of your stripper or your zipper. And then begin your pulls. Around and around you go. Woo! Thought I smelled it. It's got a little tinge of green. I'm glad I'm getting these things tore down tonight. It's getting a little tinge of green to the hide. I thought I smelled it. It's not good. But I should be able to hide that as I flesh it. That little membrane right there. It's got a little tinge of green. I don't like that. But when I get it on the fleshing beam, that will all come out. But this is at the verge where tomorrow this hide would have been gone, would have had too much rot. Getting to it just in time. When you get green set in, it does, you can tell, as you're skinning, you can tell you got it. Because it throws off a distinct smell. Do it once at that level. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Grabbing the hide down low. Downward pressure always, guys. Trimming or pulling, either way, doesn't matter. Always want to keep downward tension on your hides. Oh, this one's peeling nice. Okay, a little membrane on the leg there. Trim it. Membrane right there. A little bit of muscle tissue. Trim it. And pull. A lot of this work can be done with a knife. But the more knife work you do, the more risk you have of punching holes. If you can minimize your knife work and do more pulling, you'll be less apt to go and punch holes in your hide. Okay, you're going to punch through. You're going to punch your fingers through between the leg on both sides. Fingers through. You'll be able to pull it at that point. 3 fingers in each way and pull your hands apart. pushing and forcing that leg out. Pull it all the way down until you hit the joint right there at the bottom of the foot. Same thing on the other side. Pull your hands apart. Work your way down to the base of that foot. Take your knife, wring out around your foot, leaving them long. We'll trim those in the boarding process. Round it goes, pull them through. My whole key to this game is retaining and keeping as much hide as possible. I see guys that are running V cuts on their vents. They're running V cuts. They're leaving, you know, a triangular patch of fur like that around the vent. I don't. I trim a nice fine line right around it, retaining as much hair as possible. If I'm going to do any fine trimming cuts or prettying it up a little bit, it's going to be on the board. I don't want to do any of my fine trimming cuts here. I want to make sure my initial cuts or my money cuts on the upper inside of the back hind legs. I want to make sure those are nice and straight, retaining as much fur as I can. And when I get down to the vent, I want to make sure that I just trim around it. I'm not leaving a big V-notch or a big triangle patch of fur right there. That fur, when I board it, might be trimmed in the boarding process. But I'd rather have as much fur as possible on here until it's on the board than the other way around and over trim it now and lose length on the board and get a lower cost at auction or a lower price at auction on these furs. So that's another tip. Leave as much fur on as possible, leave as much fat on as possible. Pull as much as possible. Minimize your knife work to prevent holes. Constant downward pressure as you work your way around. I didn't want to make that cut. That was bad. Oh, I didn't make that cut. There's my 22 caliber round right there. I thought I'd made a bad cut. Cut my vein at the base of the neck, which is not uncommon if you're not careful. But that was the bullet wound there. Okay. Coming back down to the base of the ears. I'm losing my light too. As you come down to the base of the ears, guys, you can see where there's a visible bump. There's a visible bump right there, guys, at the base of the ears. 45-degree angle up, straight through to the skull. Retain as much of that cartilage as you can. Cut deep into the skull, guys. There's not a lot of veins right there. You will not cause a big mess by cutting too deep where the ears meet the skull there. Cut deeper rather than not as deep. Retain as much cartilage of the ears as you can on your hide. Okay, time to sharpen up. There we go. That's much better. Sharp knives are a beautiful thing, guys. Small eye holes. Presentation. Going against the skull bone with your knife dulls it rather quick, but it is your easiest way of nice, clean, small eyelet holes. Trim off the bottom lip. Bottom lip is not necessary, and you will not get graded down for having lower lip. Whatever's left of the lower lip during the boarding process will get trimmed off anyway. Get it all the way down to the nose cartilage. Nice straight across cut on the nose cartilage, like so. Retain it. Turn your fur if you're going to put it back in the freezer. Wow, we got 5 guys. Welcome. Comment, like, and share. Subscribe, notification bell, guys. You know, and that's where you can check out and inspect your work and the beauty of the fur itself. Flesh side in. If you are going to freeze it and roll it for freezer, and now's the chance where you can inspect it. This is the last time you're going to have a chance to take a look at it and admire the beauty that is the critters that come from the woods. Inspect it. Look for rub out on the back, of which this has none. Check for coloration, check for burrs, check for broad. This phase right here is a good time to go and take care of any briars, burrs, dirt, grime, grit, nasty, and actually brush these out right now during the process. But just admire your furs, man. This is what we work hard for. We get rid of them all at the end of the season. Retain some, tan some, keep some. They're not bringing a whole lot of money now, so keeping a couple each season, it's not a bad thing to do, guys. Pick out the best of the best, 2 or 3. Practice your tanning. Worst thing that could happen is you screw up a $4 fur. Who cares? Best thing that could happen is you have a memory from this year's trapping season to keep for a lifetime. And that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to tan 2 or 3 of each species I catch this year and keep them. I will go and run a tag that says the year in which I trap them, and I'm going to start keeping the best 2 or 3 I catch every year. Because let's face it, the best 2 or 3, if I pull a top lot, might pull me a, $15, $18 on a nice, mega-sized, beautiful primo coon. Screw that. I'm going to retain and keep the ones that are the nicest. This is a pretty nice coon, guys. Respect the wild, admire the animals for what they are. We're not a bunch of barbarians here, guys. We trap a lot of these, and we tend to forget the beauty that is nature. So, again, admire the beauty, the colors, the hairs, and how beautiful these animals really are. Because this is your last chance before you get them off to auction to see them in this way. Lay them out. Final look over. Flesh side against flesh side. Flip your tail up and over. Make sure all your flesh is against flesh. None of it touches the hairs on here because you don't want to transfer grease. These are greasy critters. Doesn't take away their beauty, but they are greasy. Don't get the grease on the outside of your hide whenever possible. Roll it down to the head, tail to the head, and you have a nice rolled up tube like that, ready for your freezer. Bam! Mad Nasty coming at you with a bunch of tips and techniques tonight. Yeah, buddy. So the freezer this one goes. This one right here is a female. Not many of those this year. Okay. Another 2 coons skinned. Not rushing them. Can I do them faster? Absolutely. Do I want to do them faster? No. Because I'm not trapping right now, guys. This is the only enjoyment I have to be able to experience this trapping season. So, with that being said, as I've got coffee on my table, what the hell? I enjoy my time in the fur shed. I enjoy doing what I do. There's no sense in rushing it and rushing something you enjoy. Why? If I have a big stacked pile of coons and, a short amount of time to do it in, then I'll rush them. I can skim down rather quickly. Guys, I've done a few hundred of these over the last couple of years. It's not hard to do. I can do it much faster. But being precise in your cuts, getting in these slow times when you don't have a whole lot of work to do in your fur shed, take the time and perfect and work on your skill, your technique. No mistakes, no oopses, no flaws, and truly get down to being the best you can be, because that's what we all aspire to do. We want to be the absolute best outdoorsmen and treat the animals in which we retain and take home with us with the utmost respect possible. That's the sign of a good outdoorsman, a good sportsman, and it's what these animals deserve, guys. So, I'm Mad Nasty Trapping. There's your 2 coons done. They turned out beautiful. They're rolled and in the freezer. Buyer Boys Outdoors is in the house. What up? Okay, let me pull this off here. And I will see. Well, we do have some. YouTube channel, Mad Nasty Trapping. Subscribe, notification bell, 200 plus videos. And share every one of my broadcasts. It means everything to me because you guys mean everything to me. And I will keep making good quality material for all you. So let's see what comments we have in here. I'm going to rip the comments real quick here. Give a little bit of shout outs. Devin Pearson in the house. He says, hey. Kevin Vincent says, hey, buddy, it looks a little chilly in your shop. Yes, it is colder than, geez, it's cold in here. Kevin Vincent says, I had 2 misses the last couple of days. Starting to get aggravated. Kevin, I've had many trap line checks with nothing on the line, and nothing's more aggravating than not having a single trap out in the woods right now in a vehicle that's broke down that I cannot go anywhere. I am stranded at my house awaiting rides to and from work, and nobody's willing to give Mad Nasty a ride to check my trap line every night. It is what it is, guys. Let me rotate it. Boom. Sorry. Stephen Cooper says, "What's up? What's up, Cooper?" Cooper says, "I was about to come over." You could have come over, man. Hey, whatever. Cooper says, "I have a space heater for you." Cooper, that space heater you've got, it's got to be a plug-in, not a propane. And it has to be a space heater for a large room. The one I've got right there is for a small room. And unfortunately, it can't handle the size of this. Doesn't have to have the beauty logs in it and the beautiful flame fake junk. It needs to be a large room space heater. But if you've got one that I can use that's not going to pop my breaker on me every freaking time I plug it in, dude, I'd be very, very, very happy if I could borrow it. You can have it back in the end of the season, I promise you. Oh, man, I keep hitting buttons. Cooper says, "I'm going to share it in a second." Cooper says, "Share it on Facebook." Thank you for liking and sharing this broadcast. Tanner Thompson's in here. Catfish Stalker Outdoors with Captain Greg Olila. What's up? He says hello. Buyer Boys Outdoors says, "But just remember, you're human. You will mess up. I still do. And you do too. Nobody is perfect." Absolutely. Absolutely. We do the best we can to go and not only respect the animals, but to go and take the time to make sure that you can get the best presentation you possibly can, get your best cuts, and do the best work possible to your furs, because it's important. It pays out at the end of the season, and it shows the respect for the animals in which you catch. It's a beautiful thing. But yes, we all make mistakes. Sometimes we get cuts in there where we don't want to. Sometimes we take critters out of the woods or get, especially with running conibear sets and bucket sets. Dude, there's been quite a few really small coons that I would have loved to have released. There's been some really trashy coons, like one I've got on the table right now that I'm going to take care of tomorrow, skin down and get off the market. But it ain't going to bring much money, if any money at all. And, some of them I wish I could let go, but in the conibear sets, they're a very unforgiving set. They're done. Anything that walks into those sets are ones that must come home and skin out and get off the market. It is what it is. But yeah, you can't do perfection on every one of them, though you strive to better yourself on every one that you do. If you can learn something every season in the fur shed, you can better your technique. Every dozen critters you do, pick out one little minute thing that you can change and make better, and you will continue to improve and become the best that you can be when you're doing your work as a trapper. Whether it be setting your sets, whether it be skinning your critters, whether it be pulling knowledge on these animals, whether it be fleshing them down, boarding them, or, prettying them up, getting them off to auction, packaging them up, stacking them, hanging them, whatever it might be. If you can just pick, say 2, 3, 4 different techniques every year as you continue to do this sport that we so much enjoy, pick up a couple of new techniques and better yourself in a couple of ways every year. By the time you're willing to give this up, if you ever do, you will have down and become the absolute best trapper that you can possibly be. And it's improving every year by just picking out a couple of things and taking yourself to that next level for the following season. Beautiful thing, guys. Keep on keeping on. Cooper says, "What am I doing tomorrow night?" Tomorrow night is Sunday night. I will be back in the fur shed. I've got 3. Whoa. Good Lord. Yeah, it's late and I'm floundering. Come on now. I've got 3 more ready to go tomorrow. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. I'll be skinning down tomorrow night at some point. Um, and Cooper says the heater I have will be decent for close up to use to keep your hands warm. Hey, bring it on. Bring it on. I'll take whatever I can get and I'll give it a shot, buddy. Thank you. Byron Boys Outdoors says this is the first video I have watched of yours this season. I haven't put out as many videos as I have in the last few years. I've still been doing live on the trap line up until my vehicle broke down on me. I haven't done it since because I have had no vehicle to go run a trap line. Therefore, I have no trap line out in the woods. But I have ran, if I were to venture a guess, I would say that I ran about 30 to 35 new videos that are up on YouTube channel, Mad Nasty Trapping, this season. Some good instructional videos are on there. Some live on the trap lines are on there, and some off-topic, non-trapping videos are on there too. It's good stuff. Go catch up. Buyer Boy says, I'm set at 186 sets as of now. My whole intent and hope was to have that many or more out by this point in the season, but I keep getting screwed every which way. Buyer Boy says, been an okay season, not great. The season here in Michigan was a slow start, and the only way that I was going to go and try to get my numbers back up was by going and running more traps and covering more ground, because it was a slow beginning to the season. But I did all right, I did all right at the beginning of the season. I was averaging, I think, 2 coons a day, and had I averaged that for the Michigan season from October through March, I'll have to recheck season dates, but I believe our seasons run October through March. Had I gone and had an average of 2 coon catch a day, I would have far surpassed my catch count from last season on coon alone. But being that my vehicle is down and don't know when I'll have it back up, to pull off a good end to the season in the minimal time I'm sure I will have back on the line, I will get traps out by the end of the season, providing my vehicle is back on the road. And I'm going to have to go for a little bit higher dollar furs. I'm going to have to go for fox. I'm going to have to go for coyote. I'm going to have to go and run colony traps. I'm going to have to go for muskrat. I'm going to have to go for beaver. I'm going to try to go for higher dollar furs and pull my catch count up with colony traps on muskrats for an overall larger catch count than last season. And I'm going to have to pull magic out of this crazy Bass Pro Shop Santa Claus hat at the end of the freaking season. But it's been a hell year. But I ain't going away. And there's a whole lot more coming up in 2019. A whole lot of new. Oh, man. I don't want to get too crazy on it yet. I don't want to get too far into it. But let's just say there's a new channel going to be opening up. And it's going to be an all-encompassing channel of hunting, trapping, and fishing. More information to come on that as the new year becomes upon us very soon. Buyer Boys Outdoors says, yeah, same here. Been a lot of warm weather and a lot of rain. 3 days of rain, 2 days warm weather. Just sucks. I'd like it to be cold and stay cold. Yeah, I'd like to just get a dozen Dukes out there. Damn it. Is what it is. All right, this broadcast has been going on for an hour and 36 minutes. It's about time I wrap up. Buyer Boy says, don't trap quantity, trap quality, bub. More money, less work, better critter to market. Life is easier. See? I don't know. Trapping quality is beautiful. If you want to be selective and trap quality, that's awesome. More power to you. Being selective is a beautiful thing. Now, my frame of mind on it, I like trapping quantity. I like doing layout videos at the end of or layout pictures at the end of the season. My quality will be intermixed amongst the quantity. But with the amount of land I have to trap, the amount of state land here in Michigan, the private property accesses I do have, I got a lot of acreage in which to trap. So, that being said, I like going for quantity and quality. I take all my premium critters that I can get. Don't get me wrong, I'm not releasing premium critters, guys. But I will take smaller critters because they're in abundance here in Michigan. On the properties that I trap, state land, private property parcels, there's an abundance of animals on there. Minimize the herd. You'll never wipe them all out. Hell, I'm not that good. Hell, this season's proving that as good as I am, I'm not good enough to go and clean out entire parcels of property. Because if that was the case with the number of critters I caught last year, good, bad, ugly, and great, going for quantity, this season I put traps in the same locations that I had last season and expanded my line further out. And I'm still pulling catch. My opinion on this, okay, and maybe I'm wrong, but my opinion on this is when you go and you trap a parcel of property, okay, you trap that property out to the best of your ability. You will start to see, as the season goes on, catch counts dwindling if you're pulling a good fair number of critter off that property. If you really start dwindling that number away on that property, it's just kind of like people, in my opinion. If you have an apartment complexes and people move out of those, people disappear out of those apartment complexes, there's a whole lot of vacancies. People from the surrounding areas will come in and fill the voids. They will fill the vacancies in those apartment complexes, right? So, my opinion, focus, camera. Come on, camera, focus. My opinion on this is that if you are trapping, clean the camera off, maybe that works. There it goes. If you are trapping a parcel of property and you trap it hard and you do what you think is clearing out and clean trapping the entire property, you take every critter, coon, fox, coyote, muskrat, beaver, you pull everything off that parcel of property. That creates a whole lot of vacancies, a whole lot of open real estate. And with the open real estate, the animals from the surrounding properties, it might take a year or two, but they will work their way back in. And they will fill the vacancies that are in the woods. My opinion, that has worked for me last season. I trapped my line hard. I put traps in the same locations this year after I did what I thought was clean, clocking it, and just taking every darn critter I could get my hands on last year. And this season, it's showing in the catch count. The catch count's down. Might be due to weather. I'm sure due because I took out a ton of critter last year on that line that I had. And I put in the same spot. There's not as many this year, but they came and filled the voids. So that's the way I see it. I'm Dan Edwards of Mad Nasty Trapping. You guys are watching YouTube channel Mad Nasty Trapping. Subscribe, notification bell. I hope that this extended broadcast has given you guys plenty of tips. And I hope you guys have learned something and can take this sport to the next level. Stay sportsmen, be ethical, enjoy what you do, have respect for the animals, and enjoy the outdoors. Have a great evening, and I will see you guys sooner than you think. Later, everybody.